Hello math people, welcome to lesson 3 in our series on philosophy and mathematics and the connections between the two. Today we're going to start our big investigation of who are some of the great mathematicians who philosophized. In this math series we're only going to look at 4, 2 ancients and 2 moderns, but if you want to be learning more, you'll learn more later on in life. Let me tell you, there's a bunch of people. Boy. Anyway, we're going to start with Pythagoras. Folks, you know Pythagoras from the Pythagorean Theorem. This is probably about the most insignificant thing he did, but honestly, it's the thing that we all know about him. Here's a picture of Pythagoras from Raphael's School of Athens. He's over in the corner working on his math. Or is he? Pythagoras did some really interesting things. He's actually supposedly the guy who coined the word philosophy. Now, there's debate about that, but that's what Diogenes Laertius records in his Lives of Eminent Philosophers. He also, as we've seen in the last video, was the guy who said only the God is wise. This is one of the things he's known for saying. Human beings aren't wise, only God is wise. And then one of the most important things he did was he coined the word for cosmos. Cosmos is the Greek word that means good order. It's what we think of as the universe today. Sadly, nothing is left of what Pythagoras actually may have said or written. We only have various second-hand or third-hand accounts, including many interesting myths and legends about him. They're very exciting to read. Philosophy was for Pythagoras a way of life. It was a way of living intended to perfect our nature, to unfurl insight, and to raise consciousness about who we are. Doesn't that sound wonderful? For Pythagoras, the purpose of our lives as human beings is to work hard to remember who we are. God, we've forgotten who we are. We need to remember. Although we're mortals, we are born and we die, we have always been in another deep sense. We are part of the universe. We are part of the good order of things, or the cosmos. Everything is a part of us, and we are a part of everything. We are all a part of each other. This is Pythagoras. All things are connected, and our task during life is to see these great cosmic connections, this order, and this beauty. When we do, we remember who we are. Philosophy is about self-knowledge, right? We're not simply mortal beings. We have a share in the immortal or the eternal. Pythagoras came to these insights through his spiritual practices. Although he's part of our heritage in Western culture, nowadays we don't normally think this way anymore. Pythagoras' knowledge of the cosmos and of our interrelations is not derived through the processes that we accept today, namely empiricism or rationalism. Empiricism is the belief that all knowledge is derived from the senses, from those facts that we gather through observation, forming hypotheses, testing hypotheses, reproducing and confirming results. Our society's faith in science and technology is largely the result of this belief that knowledge derived from the scientific method is best. So you guys are familiar with the scientific method. Here are the steps from the beginning to the end. This is part of empiricism. The other way of thinking that we believe today holds out the best hope for knowledge is rationalism. This view of knowledge privileges mathematics, reason, argumentation, and logic. Essentially, rationalists suppose that we can think our way to the truth, that knowing occurs all inside our heads, without much relation to external things, the world, the senses, experiences, etc. This big change in the way Western culture thinks happened during a period of history known as the Enlightenment. That was the 17th and the 18th centuries. It has stayed with us ever since. Because we are so rationalist and empiricist nowadays, we only really remember Pythagoras for his Pythagorean theorem. Why? Because it's useful. We can solve problems with it. We can build things with it. We can use it to fulfill our needs. We dismiss the truly philosophic aspects of Pythagoras nowadays. Today, we don't normally think true knowledge can be derived intuitively, meaning by direct contact of the mind with being, or what is. We normally don't suppose that contemplative vision of what is possible, right? This is what the ancients called theoria. We don't think it has any real legitimate claim to knowledge. However, in the ancient world, this form of knowing was praised as best. This kind of knowing they called understanding. It is where you stand under all that is, gazing upon a vision of the whole. They said it was what made us most divine, whereas our empirical and rational modes of knowing were mortally bound. Here, we know things little by little through reasoning. This manner of knowing has served us well over the years, helping us to secure our desires and survival needs. However, the Greeks always held that it was a slavish, servile, or lesser form of knowing because it didn't really or truly help us to know ourselves, our immortal nature, or our relation to eternity. It isn't really concerned with loving wisdom. There's wisdom over there, the goddess, personification. You're in Turkey. So here are today's philosophic experiments for you folks. Number 1, in your journal, write about your earliest memory or memories of feeling connected to others, to the world, to the universe. Why do you think it's hard to remember these things? Why? Number 2, in your journal, write a list of things, ideas, and practices in today's society that are the product of empiricism or rationalism. Discuss whether you think these things are good or bad. And question 3, think for a moment about how mathematics and mathematical thinking has shaped the world. Has it been for good? For bad? Explain. So pick one of those questions, one that interests you the most, or disinterests you the least, I guess. Okay, so have a good day today in math. Stay out of trouble, love your neighbor. Talk to you next time. Bye.